The director Tom Brass and the producer Tim Compton gave Brain Audio an incredibly unusual opportunity in that we were going to make the entire sound design, mix and score for Wolf King under one roof.
The great part of animation is that it gives you a lot of freedom, but at the same time there has to be an element to ground everything, and that's where the physicality of the Foley and the sound effects carries a big importance, so that we can connect emotionally and humanly as possible with the characters and convey that movement, physicality, and at the end of the day, emotion.
So this is the Great Wolf everyone's talking about.
So this is a world that's full of mud and carts, and rickety buildings and lots of metal as well. So these were all elements we were really keen to get recordings of that we could then work with, both in the sound design side of things, but also that could be incorporated into the score as well.
It's a big fantasy show, and you expect kind of big, epic, sweeping strings and maybe a sound world that's quite medieval. And we wanted to do something very different for this show. I really wanted to do something that was very electronic and really lent into the sorts of rhythms and sounds that you kind of might find more in a nightclub, to be honest.
What we didn't want to do was just fly in an electronic score. We wanted to make a score which really lived in the world of Wolf King. We were going to use synthesizers, obviously, and electronic sounds and sampled sounds, but we were going to make them in such a way that they had a primitive energy that could have existed in the world of Wolf King. So this is an old EMS synthesizer that we used a lot to sample the electronic sounds in the soundtrack to Wolf King. The entire show doesn't have a single traditional wolf howl in the soundtrack. There's no sound effect of a wolf howl. But what there is a theme, which is wolf-like. Ow! And it's because we didn't go for the sound effect, we went for a theme which has an element of distant wolf about it. So as Drew's theme develops, it's also joined by the sound of a conch being played, which plays his melody in unison. We worked with an amazing brass and wind player called John Kenny, and we travelled up to Scotland to record him play the conch for Drew's theme, but also we recorded this amazing ancient instrument called a carnix.
So we're here in Studio A at Brain Audio, our Dolby Atmos mixing room, which is where I kind of spend a lot of time putting this together. Through there you can see Studio B through the window, which often in the process of making this, Tom would be there working away on the score. And then just down the corridor in the other studios, we'd have Carlos working away on particular sound effects. So it's really nice having all of that stuff under one roof, obviously for this communication and playing stuff, and it just makes the whole thing like really, really fun as well.
One of the sounds that we discovered was that we could coax this distant wolfish sound from a gong or a tam-tam. And we started to use this as a theme for the moon, which is an important, iconic visual theme in the show. And it was one of the moments where sound and score really came together.
What you end up getting is this wonderful symbiosis between the sound and the music when it comes to storytelling. And that's a great plus. It's really unique, and I think it's a great strength of what they do here.